Inside EVs has just reported that Mercedes-Benz has doubled its electric vehicle sales this year. And they've given us the numbers, but something's not quite adding up here. What are the real numbers? What's really going on? Well, here's my take on the truth at Mercedes-Benz. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Great to have you guys. Welcome back, everyone else. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. It means the algorithms help us hugely, and it's made a massive difference. In fact, over the past week, the channel's had 1.3 million views. That's the most we've had in a week, so thank you guys. Really appreciate your support. It's unreal. Mercedes-Benz. Unfortunately, the mainstream media, and now it's actually not just the mainstream media, it's pretty much all the electric vehicle websites are no longer really giving you real reporting on these companies because, I don't know, maybe they're making money out of the advertising on their sites, so they're just giving you these kind of glossed over positive headlines. Maybe they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't know. But I think we need to point out the fact that we're not getting the full story. We're getting a bit of a positive news story. Now, one of the things that's been happening lately is this. We're seeing these results. We're hearing these numbers. We're going, oh, I didn't know that BMW was making that many EVs. That's amazing. I didn't know if this company was making... And it turns out what they're doing is conflating electric vehicles with hybrids and plug-in hybrids, putting them all into one basket and saying, these are all the electric cars that X company sold this year. Is that really relevant? To some of you it is. To me personally, I don't think the future are plug-in hybrids or hybrid vehicles. I think maybe for the next couple of years, but not in 2030. And certainly not in 2035, when the sales of gasoline-powered vehicles will more than likely be banned in every country across the world. But even if they're not banned, I can't see there being any demand for them at all. I mean, put it this way. Realistically, is there still demand for these old things when you can buy one of these for the same price? You can, right? You can buy an iPhone or some kind of smartphone now for, in fact, less than what you can still buy these old phones for. You can still buy these old things, but do you see anyone with them? No, not really, right? However, Mercedes-Benz, I think they have a good chance of doing better than some of their competition. For example, BMW. Now, why do I say that? Well, you got to plan to succeed. BMW, what are they planning on? Well, their CEO just said what they're planning on. He believes the future of the automotive industry is hydrogen. Shockingly to me, I think he's the only CEO that really thinks that. And yeah, fortunately for Mercedes-Benz, they've said that by 2030, 100% of the vehicles they sell will be electric. That's a good start. So far this year, their numbers have been an improvement. There are some issues here though, some big issues that are not being pointed out by anyone, and I think we need to actually talk about what those are. Otherwise, these numbers are really meaningless. But first, Mercedes-Benz electric vehicle sales. Well, yeah. If you put them all into one umbrella, yes, they have doubled this year. In fact, more than doubled. Now I'm talking about Q3. However, this year Mercedes-Benz Cars has reported 520,100 global sales during the third quarter of 2022. That's 20% more than a year ago. But of course, the market was down pretty heavily last year. So it's not like they're setting the world on fire with these sales, but it's good to see an improvement from the company. Well, it's good if you're a shareholder anyway. This number includes 517,800 Mercedes-Benz passenger cars, which is an increase of 21%, and a small number of vans. And realistically, they have achieved their best result so far. They're selling about 10,000 EVs globally per month now. So about a similar number to a company like XPeng or NIO. Definitely an improvement. That's 6% of their total volume. 6% of their total volume. It is a good result in comparison to where they were at the same period last year, definitely. But is it a good result in comparison to, say, well, the Chinese automotive market or the European automotive market or the Norway automotive market? Of course not. I mean, obviously China now, they're at 27%. Now, why am I bringing up China? You're probably thinking, Viking, who cares? What's China got to do with this? Okay, well, China's pretty important because that's where Mercedes-Benz makes more money than any other market in the world. In fact, the Chinese car market is the biggest car market for Mercedes-Benz. In fact, the Asian car market, including China, is massive for Mercedes. Europe, 458,000 vehicles sold for Mercedes-Benz year to date. Germany, of that number, 154,000. Actually, Germany is a very small market for Mercedes-Benz in comparison to China. I mean, China, 562,000 versus Germany, 154,000. What about North America? That's a pretty important market for them, right? Well, North America, 245,000. The US, 214,000. You can see here, China is easily Mercedes-Benz's biggest car market. And, well, they've got some massive challenges in China. In fact, I believe they just made the biggest mistake in the history of the company in China, which will lead to their demise in China. In fact, if you've seen those facts, I find it very hard to believe that anyone would disagree with me. That said, Mercedes-Benz electric vehicles, fully electric vehicles, 6% of all company sales, and that is a good increase for them. However, keep in mind that right now, 10% of the global automotive market is fully electric. So they're definitely lagging behind if you compare those numbers. But all you can do is improve. Mercedes-Benz, they did a pretty good job in September of actually improving on the past. They delivered 13,000 electric vehicles worldwide, including 3,400 Mercedes-Benz EQBs. Now, a very large portion of those, unfortunately, have just been recalled in China. Mercedes-Benz, they would be set with people protesting against the company in China during the last 6 months of the year. And they just ignored most of the protests, kept selling the cars that people were protesting. They were saying the motors kept failing. They kept selling them until the 10th of October. They stopped selling them on the 10th of October, and then they recalled everything they'd sold up until the 10th of October in China. Yeah, that's caused some pretty bad publicity for them. However, overall plug-in electric car sales, including BEVs and FEVs, in Q3 were 76,000. That's an increase of 23% year over year. That's nearly 15% of Mercedes' total vehicle volume. In Europe, the plug-in hybrid share is much higher at 34%. However, by the end of this year, plug-in hybrid incentives, which amount to about $7,000 will be ended permanently in Germany. They've actually also come to an end in the UK and in Ireland, and a bunch of other countries are considering whether or not they continue to subsidize plug-in hybrids, which it turns out are nowhere near as efficient as manufacturers are claiming. Unfortunately, the truth is, once you've done the claim range, which for most plug-in hybrids manufactured in Europe and, well, by mainstream legacy automakers is around approximately 50 kilometers, after that point, of course, the energy efficiency falls off a cliff because you're basically now carrying around the battery and the motors. So that's the truth. Plug-in hybrids are clearly not the future. They are losing market share in Europe. So plug-in hybrids are going to be a challenge for Mercedes-Benz because they represent a very large proportion of their total plug-in sales. In Q3, Mercedes-Benz delivered 30,000 electric vehicles. That's an increase of 115% from 14,000 1 year ago. So it's a good improvement, 14,000 to 30,000 in the same period last year. However, they sold 46,000 plug-in hybrids, so substantially more plug-in hybrids than EVs. Obviously, that plug-in hybrid sale figure will definitely come down over the next couple of years as we see more EVs enter the market, but also as we see these subsidies come to an end. However, that means total plug-ins for Mercedes-Benz, including plug-in hybrids and electric cars, are up 23% to 76,000 and close to 15% share of Mercedes vehicle production. Personally, I don't include plug-in hybrids in electric vehicle umbrella. I know some of you guys do. That's all up to your own interpretation. That's okay. In the first half of this year, Mercedes delivered 139,600 plug-in vehicles. Of those, 75,400 were EVs, an increase of 126% from only 33,400 a year ago. So that's a good increase. Plug-in hybrids, they delivered 140,000, which wasn't an increase from last year. And total plug-ins were 215,400, which is an increase of 17%. As you can see, EVs have substantially increased for the company. Plug-in hybrids in general have actually declined in the total numbers they're selling. That gives you an idea of where the market's going. Plug-in hybrid sales, they won't exist in a few years' time in Europe, period. That's just the way the market is trending. So there's my take on Mercedes-Benz. Do I believe they'll be able to navigate this? Well, the truth is right now, only 6% of their vehicles are the vehicle of the future. That's the reality here. We're looking at 2030, plug-in hybrids won't be selling. It'll be purely EVs. Very unlikely they're going to be selling substantial amounts of plug-in hybrids. Electric vehicles will decline in cost for manufacturing and the cost to consumers, and consumers will start to see EVs as the only real choice. In much the same way, there's only one choice between these two options now. That's the challenge for Mercedes-Benz. Now, the other challenge Mercedes-Benz are facing is that currently they no longer qualify for the electric vehicle subsidies in the United States. Mercedes have announced they are building a factory in the US to manufacture electric cars. Why? Because the US market is extremely important to them. What I want to know is, what do you think about Mercedes-Benz and their future? Do you think that they will succeed? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.